Nice.
Good morning, folks. We're out on Tomales Bay today. It's a little foggy, but we're gonna harvest some nori and take you through the process. Hope you enjoy it. I found that we can go back. Big batch. We kinda just have to. It's a -1.5 today. Okay, so folks can hop out. Yeah, well, let's just take all the bins off. So what we're gonna do is, as teams, tackle a fourplex for the entire length. What I have found is that the tide tends to wrap it sometimes. So I first unwrap it and then I just give it a tug and that's it. So today is our first major harvest. We're out here at one of our leases at Walker Creek. And as you can see, Nori has volunteered on our oyster lines and gear. And we are essentially having a secondary harvest. Oysters are our primary harvest. Today we're having a secondary harvest of this incredibly beautiful Nori seaweed. It's like a community harvest. Our peeps are hanging out, talking, they're having a great time, doing something that people have been doing together in communities for thousands of years. So it's awesome today because we've got different members of our community. Chef Lauren Kino is out today, our culinary director, helping us make sure we're getting just the right stuff. We have Dr. Christy Croker from UC Santa Cruz and one of her students, Rosie, who's been working on a Sea Grant funded project out here on the same seaweed area. We've got Remy and Mary from our incredible PR team. And we've got my son Sage, who's keeping it down here on the lines as well. And of course, we've got Max, who's driving the boat for us today and keeping it real with our science and QA team. So we've already had a great start to our harvest this morning. I want to show you a couple of the things that we're working on. This is a kind of seaweed that is commonly called ogo. This is something you might have experienced on a poke bowl in a poke type restaurant. This is the nori that we're mostly targeting today. And this is the same seaweed that nori paper for your maki rolls at a sushi bar would be made of. It's almost translucent. It's just a single cell thick. And these blades grow from a small holdfast or attachment point. Interestingly, as we harvest it, we're removing the blades, but the holdfasts stay there, and a lot of this nori will grow back in a couple of weeks as well. And we might be able to come back for a second or even third harvest a little bit later on.
I am Christy Croker, and I'm a professor at UC Santa Cruz. We are out harvesting nori. We have been doing a study to understand how much seaweed we can actually collect from oyster gear and what kind of profits that can lead to for oyster farmers. We've been working with Hog Island for about 10 years now. We come out regularly, like every month or so, and we check on the seaweed that's growing on the gear and trying to understand how fish use the oyster gear, how the seaweeds use the oyster gear. And Rosie is a technician specific to this project. But one of the neat things about Rosie is that she's a double major in marine biology and agroecology. So she's really interested in like how the ocean overlaps with food systems and in seaweed in particular. We're both seaweed nerds.
Hey, I'm Rosie. I'm from UC Santa Cruz, and I'm working on a project with Dr. Christy Croker over there. And looking at the seaweed that's growing on oyster farms all around California and here in Tomales. I am lucky that I work with seaweed, and so I get to eat seaweed on the job. And nori is definitely the most delicious. It's delicious fresh. We eat it a lot dried up, right, in our sushi rolls and stuff like that, but it's really delicious fresh. So that's what I do. I'm pretty lazy about it.
We'll tell Sean and Nick. So we have a beautiful harvest of nori now. As you can see, the clouds are lifting, the sun's coming out, and that means it's time to take this wet nori back to the farm, wash it up, and get it up to our drying house so that we can have dry nori by sunset. We've already done the Gracilaria's hair shot, so I'm not doing that again.
Do it again.
It was a little deep out there today. We had to dive for some of this seaweed. Fortunately, we're all safe and we're heading back to the farm now. So we're back to shore. We've got all of our seaweed stacked up here, and we're going to embark on the incredibly important process of washing that nori, getting any little bit of mud from the tide flats off of it. We're gonna wash it, and then we are going to chop it up a little bit and eventually take it up to our drying greenhouse where it will dry out in the sun, and hopefully we'll have some kind of nori paper by the time the sun sets.
So I'm gonna try to chop up the nori with this giant immersion blender. That's fresh water and nori. I think there's plenty of water. Yeah. That looks pretty good. So we're just trying to get it into kind of a rough chop so it'll be easier to spread out on the little mesh racks we have up at the greenhouse. Right. Oh, right. One more.
Do I have poppy seeds in my teeth? After the harvest, we got the seaweed washed up, we chopped it up a little bit, and now we're gonna spread it out on these drying racks in our new seaweed drying greenhouse. So let's check it out. Let's see what this looks like. Here we have some chopped nori. This is the same stuff that we brought in from the ocean. It's been triple washed in seawater and then chopped up a bit with some fresh water. And what we're gonna do is spread it out on these drying racks, and the sun is gonna start doing its work. So let's have a look here.
I'm trying to make it an even layer.
Yeah, perfect. That's exactly the game. And you can go all the way to the corners. Oh my goodness. I can't tell you folks how excited I am that we're finally doing this. I think what we'll do is just dump this whole bit. Yeah, and then let's spread it out. We are now in the ancient world of nori paper making at scale. I really want to scratch my face right now, but I'm covered in seaweed.
Got the world's biggest sushi roll.
That's true. Oh my God, wouldn't that be funny? We're hoping that by about 4:30, the sun and the breeze through here will have dried this out to a state where we can package it up and take it back and put it in our freezer and commissary. Now we've got some airflow with our greenhouse vents and fans. Thank you to the SOAR grant people. We'll just see now. We've got sun, we've got wind, and it's all working together. And hopefully in 4 hours, we'll have some dry nori. Up tall.